chichide achiri kwa ya ana me ne wabɔ mpu ne mpu afidie so fi sabre ekozi se ebebo no nan ye bedi dwumai ne adane baton no de ama kela bobonua odi ankai kwa me yebo a no so asoma firi ha na wode ato amu a kwa kosi no nsia bre mu na kase bofo aba besom na yabɔdwom kakra na platform na chesi yebu na ne kɔ yada asese odo afidie ato a yada asese utie yada asese nipa na radio bebrebe ye wo wiase na omayi mu ye hai no choose over others midin Nana Yaa Konadu ya ba penny your happy delightful juice you loaded with taste in your bemunso de dede when you been many peduana da wase ye kama pa ye twa wonum kakra na nipa nso ome your happy delightful juice loaded with taste and Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital unya tese ye shemo Allah shafi chese nyame na yaresafo a fa area kona nkrofo de omde akwa hu omo ho ano ame no mate asikinkin ebo brand kama APC freaking a farmer oya obi aba emfa woni de ba ye wonu ma APC bejo fom na mo ma APC adre ye nom de so ya wano nya oya we bekwa aba anade eboni se chronic aba oso ni bi da bi da bia da uti ya oya da bia da osisi oya da bia da odwonku wo de no enye APC ni wadamfo doctor ni wadamfo entiko na kokko hu doctor etini e cancer sa wonum APC na enu achi oya one bakobakwa kwai na ko hu doctor enyimara roma na mampeni ya bapa ya tamie wi enso be bode ya huriye yozi achichide achiri kwa maje adwa mede Wohaw eba yenkonkodo masemra ye na masemra sesia Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital Bena Black History and War America China Africa ne Ghana mpenifo abona baso se osaya remo manfoti apopa
Amen Scientific Hospital ayere sabia o won fidie nwaso de woda so a fidie ne kire oyade na nu asan so sa oyade
Amen expert okwankro yare ho wonra no enam na wa doctor for ne nurse for so owotima
Amen Scientific at the herbal homeopathy naturopathy and reflexology nyina esayade
ta wona wo pe ana yare ne te same pa nyame adumunti yare expert Amen Scientific ebeboama inshallah ohoto na wonso dia dance se de Ghana for ne abrochirefo bi dia dance no
Accra Amen Scientific e wodome Obersnet Flat and Alashibinso our Klagon Eben Shaman Road under bridge ope
our Krabata P Fre non sure de ben wo 0245275254 ana 0207229505 Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital
Allah Shafi nyame ne yaresafo
Happy delightful Jew. Swachulala, chichi soso. Afrana pa. Epe pashu breakfast and was in woman. Don't happy delightful juice against with toast, cereal, and even them cool. What a weird. If you mean a bread and fifi, what's your fridge man? Happy delightful juice. One of what? And you be happy to relax anyway. When you're let's say what a tremor. Happy delightful juice. Off and a baby, I bring you all day long on fruit juice. I'm happy delight. One different flavors, different size. You number 1 letter. Number from NG 150 and 250 ml. A baby healthy life songs on your supermarket. Happy delightful juice. Loaded with taste.
Said you bet me a check in a farmer APC in Sunti. And why yen sakuma?
Uti paiwa
Frakina farmer Akuma APC. Kake Hawa Akuma APC.
Sisiarie wa posunu no mpemu na ya oya fever ana wona me ya
Emubia kina farmer Akuma APC ebeye firi ho. Nemum na nuachi na enkoy dia kuhu doctor kina farmer Akuma APC eyema obia ya wadi emfiedunsia 16 years dekro. Even though environment and component kakra e shelter so but me far from a different angle until make us say me home e shelter so ye besa back to shelter and chakra but e was say ye share sun weather no inti na no dradam better say na me synkrofo ano ene sada na me kai ye pa say me nyini no na ma no ya na say me nyini ye na ateko because I can't think far say onipa oba wo no na obehwe ne yawo no yatutu ne ti ye miamia ne ti miamia ne nsa twetwe no o wa adwene ne ti eso no enso say bi de kono kwa adwenim na ka adwen wo mu anka obe fa bola e de ahye botom na ensu oto akwa akohwe ne chow e de agum
ye ka no asensi ye no Peter no hu be ma benkata chie so a no so ase ne bo se ba ko ne ye oba ba ko be ma ba ko sa bre ne na be ma ne hu hye da hia ye papa because a man na e ba hu di esiesie ni ade no a eyi obia emfenya ye so nyame de agya ye but this time round for so trendy a benkata chie be ma sebe na beti gase awe nko so obo nko fie pa na de adua bayira enka bayira ye bedua nya de ketwa ontumi mfa sa abasai ne abetri enko nkoto wura enwu entwi wura ne nwu ebi krat se bola taxi mu enko ebi mu de egu bola taxi no ma fa no ma hwie twa nsuo ne to no hwie agum wo se wo ye obi wo ye ho ai konfo na esi oman mo a oman na ebo a otim bi ebebo me no nyina ye tiri so ani se nei ewiemu nsakraya na tumi a ka nkrofo se ewie no ye factor ewie bre no ye yesuban ya ye da na die na ama ewie bre na bantem na ama na bantem na no wote se a Dominican Republic nkrofo wo club adwiri agum enipa ewu akakra bi na 100 wo hono mo a na nsuo yiri e wo baabi ne ya na mehwe nkrofo man so na nsen ayi baabi yiri kakra saa wo UK ho ne mia mehwe ho ne yiri no ensuo na yiri na nia na mehwe yen ye die ensuo ne yira ania enipa ba kurani anamo ya abrofo me kokko nti omu nsuo na ni ye clear ne ye de eni ko no ye bio ye bi awie ye be hwe roba no esaboni edi me ne ho ye wie na still so be hwe nsuo na gu a wo fa boto wo fa wo bola chance na wo hwe na nature mother f ka kire o say wo ye nipafo wo ye mambofo wo ye sansani ewie a ye de sabi jimi e be ka ho because na wo ni conscience wo ye say bi esi utrase e wani wo mu mo ka ho no man ye bre wo wi abeka aban die na wo medase wo susu say ye nwura ye roba ensuo to eyiri edi nsamonen ekwampa ben aban so de samasaman ba o se wo de na wotwe bosomi ahyase cleaning eba apart from no ekwampa foforo ben na osusu se ye betime de ye ball asama faso titiriw ne roba ni abo ho bra eyie 0302257900257901 enkrofo bia man so se wokọ na akota ade a na ase emfe nhye roba mu ma wo a obeto roba no wonto roba ntua ka ye emfe nhye mu ma wo obeto atua roba nan so a ye ton atua ma wo no amu atua ka no hata bi de ade ne hye mu obi ehunu ni bi omo discourage the use of plastic yes ye encourage 0302257900257901 sika yen kwa homa ne so na fi yen fa calls no 0302257900257901 number simi enu bia obetimi afren no eso eni ahwe afrefo matimi abaso hello Alex
hello Nana
Alex maha
eni abonge
erade adome ho ye pa na nso e
adom
gede erade asi yeti wa
ajan faje wo po so wo ti awon
ye jo nso
e de nso egugu wata je nkakra ye do
trinkwa
enkra ti se
bibi aboko
so mo nso egugu wo
ne sa wutie mashasa maka dada se ensuo egugu
kakra de nyanya enko de jale de mra nana aja o mai mu die se me de nka ma gene se bola na ya o mudi si container na ọmụdị sisi a ọmụma amanfo ọdịdị sika wọ bọọla container ọhụrụ kọmụ jaya yɛ sure sɛ nka amanfo nso ɛnyɛ dɛ ɛnhwehwɛ bɔɔla ngu yɛfrɛ ne sɛ gɔta mu me nka sɛ obi nkɔhwie bɔɔla ngu gɔta mu pa wohu sɛ ɔmo gyigyi bɔɔla container ne tricycle no sɛ business sɛ wokɔ ɛfa ne sɛ woba nim a anaasɛ wokɔ baabi a ɔmode container si hɔ a kaa bɛfa a nana bɛsrɛ obi wɔ nkra na megyina hɔ na obi gye bɔɔla sika ketewaa bi wɔ so 10 cedi nana ɛnyɛ easy ɛno nso discourage amanfoɔ ma ɔmo hwie bɔɔla gu ɛyi ebi wɔ hɔ de ɔde bɛma ne ba koraa de akɔ sukuu ɛde korɔ no bi na ɔde bɔɔla ketewa bi kɔ so na ɔmo te 10 cedi ɔmo gye sika o ɛnyɛ sika ketewa na ɔmo gye nti ɛno nso discourage amanfoɔ sɛ ɔmo bɛba gbɛ nti nsuo tɔ na ayɛ obi dɛ nti aban no nso ɔpɛ sɛ ɔman no kɔ so na nneɛma kɔ yie na amanfoɔ te deɛ ɔman mpuo no ase a saa deɛ no kɔ so ɔmo gya sɛ ɔmo de bɔɔla sisi wɔ koraa na ɔmo gye sika ɛno nso nka ɛbɛte bɔɔla na yɛyɛ bebree no.
Alex nipa kro ni sika ɔde ne bɛkɔ school ɛnso so onye sika to data ɛde yɛ calls baabi a wakoma wɔ no baabi a wɔgya padeɛ wɔ hɔ no wakoma wɔ sɛ hia yɛ ne a ɛyɛ ketewa te sɛ dwie sɛn koraa yɛbɛhwɛ obiara nso tua a ɛbɛma ɔmo bɔ ho bra no ɔmo ka nɔɔso pii ɛmɛboɔ ne nkɔ soro pii meda ase kwadwo yɛbo a bɛmɛ na ma ha
ɛno na pombo kɔdeɛ
adom ne ahwɛ yie
ona na meda wɔ yie papa me deɛ meme deɛ mahwɛ ne kakra ɛyɛ krom wofɔ krom a ɛka mɛka sɛ krom a yɛ pipa yie paa na menim sɛ ɛberɛ bi atwam no na wodu bus stop bia na ɛka mɛkɔɛ sɛ dustbin sisi hɔ a na ɛno nso ɛkwan bi so na boa kakra ama ɛtumi de nwura ne adeade nyinaa atum ba ɛkɔbaa sɛ ɛberɛ bi so no amanfo tumi so mo ne ɔmo fie bɔɔla nyinaa de begum ama ne yɛ maboro so nti sɛ agye hɔ nyinaa bɔ so ɛna nwansa de ade nyinaa tumi betu fa so ba na no so enso ni wɔ kwan bi so saa ba na mimi hu ni sɛ ɛdi container nsisi si hɔ no de na boa yɛ kwan bi bre so metumi de nneɛma ana bɔɔla yɛ tumi de gugum nti me yɛ sure sɛ nka bɛboa sɛ nka ɔmo bɛsan de saa nneɛma no anaasɛ bɔɔla no containers na sɛ sisi basos no biae bi a amanfoɔ taa yɛ bɔɔla paa deɛ a yɛ sure sɛ nka bɛtumi ate efi no a yɛyɛ no dodoɔ no so nana
medasi na woka bibi metio
ba menti kutuwa mi free a sɛ woba pokuase abensu kɔtɛs agre kɔtɛs a ɛkame akɔɛ sɛ gatɛs a ɛyɛ honorable Moses anim ɛyɛ sɛ wɔyɛ kwan no ɔno a wantimi anyɛ wie na gatɛs no ebi entua ebi so wɔyɛ bi asia na wɔyɛ bi asia nti so esuo no to a bɔɔla ɛnam gatɛs mi nyinaa twi ɛbɛgu kaa kwan no mu ɛno akyi so gatɛs na wɔyɛ no ɛwɔ soro ɛkyɛn kwan no nti yɛn a yɛte bia ɛwɔ mpatamu wɔ no sɛ wokita kaa na wokɔ fie a wontimi nkɔ because gatɛs ne ɛwɔ soro ɛkyɛn kwan no ɔno so wɔntimi antoa so ayɛ bim nti ɛmɛsɛ sɛ no so ɔmbɛtumi atoa na mama ɛbɛboa yɛn ɛwɔ mpatamu wɔ panana
sɛ deɛ ɛhwɛ kwan ne sɛ municipal chief executives ahodoɔ no yɛbɛyi ɔmo nyinaa awie na ɔmo nso aba abɛsɔ baton nom ɛde afiri adadafoɔ no ɛhɔ ɛgya ne mo bɛmɛ na awurade adom ɛho yɛ nanso ɛ
bɔkɔ wodi akwa wodi sɛ wa mene wona nam so wodi wodi me nka ne kase
wunti metu hɔ metu besi wunti metu hɔ
adu ɔkɔ tra ka so ana
ai me kɔ Cas City Casland
ezia batu de woni tia aha
ɛno sɛ na mesu ahyɛnkafo a ɛfiri amasama na ɛkɔnsa na mesu ɔmo ankasa wofa kwan ne so wotumi sɛ ye enipa mɛbrɛ
no problem ana de to ya basira agiti awaba ɛyɛ agiti Christian tete nyane ya panika wa ofanko beria aha yehu no about to sika ya no wo nkrofo ji o mu phone
eno ka ball asem na ye ka no ho
o tell me ba na aha de ye tiriye ya nya ball asem wa na ball asem no e ball na ntimi ye overload na e phone kan ya ba sire o mo asem wo ma bre ball ya ye chi ball gu e ye mo mfa ni tentem mai
Meda say Ejenimo Ediano no 03022579 00257901. Orobon.
Oh, man, I was there.
Beme na mahine.
Mpacho ya na mama mpacho wadawo ma ho yede
Adomni ahweye nkwa
mpacho we de mpacho no instructor ma the way guy papa pandi program but no topic no ma take ball a ho atem no mpacho me
okay is your to fa hen
Accra Central papa
dia na eto enne na ebi to ba bi amemetie ya bi no Watch mo Accra Central dia na si
ama ayi pinam dia yin for to so mutira mama nke program na ntem entim pacho yanko o da bola
yo ayi me ba sami enne dia ya kan say ensu ya hyase etoto ensu ya hyase etoto yi astati yiri fayen na yira yiri fayen na ye bola ye wasabe ema ne memma jejentwiefo ene sansafo a ensu oto a na o matwe omu wura afrifie o madwumam na o mahwe de agu bola no mu se twa ebi nso ensu okwam ho na o mo fele enti suban na menne wo mem de menka ho ebi ana so nka ho asansafo ne da na die no a wo mo de tete ye no aban hyehyɛ yemu wo de te se ye samasaman o se o de samasaman ye saba de etia so bo so me ahyase clean up no wo de ba wozu se de bio ne yenye na sa efi ya rubber titiriu ekọ choki gotamu na no hwe de ba stop boys ikokotinye wo okponglo ho e de ne nyina ebe ye na kwan matena mansuo yenyi nsuo kwan no no so ni ye bone ene ye fa ho adwen
to ma me mpacho me do anu ase mpacho na tene se Ghana pa se di Yesu ba tie no ma me nyinyi efi de betimi a ta so Ghana ma me de fa to so enfato ma o to bi ta me to sukula me tino ma me e boy ya ayi enso ta ne ekobola ne go pon fan se me papa boni ye di sukula no enso ta ne ekobola ya pa ke ye hodo ba ayi bola ni tuwa enso to ye pe no bi a so de kau na enso na akọ choku ni ni se enso be ba choku ama enso ta e be jira kwaye in the first sukula enso ta ni infayen o man tani ku fo dawo ma ana be gata ke sidi na mai ho toyen ani ye tene se ye suba ma nka se de ti Ghana han se ni bi ma me there be no way to buy ya be yi
I was say ye bibi man ye. Rabbi say if things can go wrong, things must come right.
Oh, and you know, you feel Kata. You got Ghana for you see, yeah, about what kind of be a car, you see, and the media. When Penezo de and some of the bank about wife, look at Samanoa, open up your damage work with Treska. Last time we be winning. Oh, first to Peru, Koyo, Robon to Peru, Nantes. We are born and you go on here. That's all. Thank us for the show. Here, Boca. Last time we be winning. And then you will everyone. And you this year, Bokoya. And in the about why na me only go for yet ma
medase robon de eno no yesuban na ama enema agency mo gensrepe yo Mr. Brown.
Mommy, good afternoon.
Ah, birthday man. Na get it through.
Let me try na you pull me.
Yes sir, try na to mama.
Of course.
Hey, happy birthday.
Many happy returns.
Besran kwatentia hodin wom ne mawo.
Amen.
Besi Nyankopon ma ofie nye dedede.
Amen.
Na da bia so omma otuja ma amra sorry ntem se de bia ba sorry ntem no.
Amen.
Oba so so betwa me yapon na ya clear bibia ansa na wako.
Happy birthday.
Me ma otri nkwa. Yo, me ba cho meet you.
Mommy, first of all, say you ban plastics and the number of my I say you're banning the preoccupy. Number 2, you got us no aside plastics the ballers no at the it took you got us in the pan and you only took gutters, almost 70 to 80% of your gutters in the Chuki. Think I bet me I do so take gutters now. My requirement is really to bet me perform the degree. Thirdly, no. AMA or mining waste control system via a far. Sometimes maybe I'm meeting the whole neighborhood. Me pay say to be a manafa a ball across there. Sometimes a whole week you be a the normal for home. No, it's just a normal day. On mine, among your mind, no one near the idea. We want once and not almost to ball and go issue. That's where they take advantage of that. Internet as you may address and going forward, you move you as on my mapana.
Mr. Brown, 3 points, good points, tangible points, ban of plastic. Udrun crofo so ye any total ban, but a partial enti o top plastic you pay. Plastic boy day and ya 40 said the air for ye high. Wako shopping crana waton ye mano. Ye nya paper bag mo anfa ngu amawa o pe plastic you pay for it. Enti ban, but ye Ghana has say power ban. Plastic ye chichiri koko. Ye ka banku ne ye de chichira haban wo ho ya to ya haban na twene ye de chichiri banku. Plastic ne ekokoto emo ene beans ne ade ne ye de hye no lonka mu. Enu bi mu ne ye dware first no na ye maame mo obobra pa. Yakoya nim kakra ye se 5 chance no mu na ne ye dware chance bucket ne ye to rubber enche ebepa ye beto atwene ne akoto foforo ye se ani ate woka sand achoki gutters distilling wotimi kokodru be na volunteers atiesim na wo ma prepra na wo yiyi anwen nyina ye wi ane ade agu kokko ne so gota na no ho na ensio ne to na asan twa bem mi so mi na san bastard boys fo a wo mo de wo mo pla wo mo se so mo wura edu mu wura ko bebre no mo eye volunteer was hard yeso ye nwen se san ko ba bia eno as me feel say a good point awaka but they all prepare baller wo tutu anwea no na amana ye na say hia say if it must be done then it must be done well afei control system no just a local government is san ba mu biom me say o ka ba bia me mete e was so mo fa baller twice a week but ye lucky and omoba once 2 weeks. It one you responsible say wo be manage ura ni ye e wo fie ho a na wo de opomuden e to asan mu bola taxi for no omo de ne board dins na hwe
of course
enti e wo say ye share your waste management in semni eye pa minyaya nka investor bi so okay may your responsible investment e de aka giant say zoom lion ni nuanom ho bola taxes no imply e wo vicinity bia no mo nya ne responsibly but nyame ne hene
yeah and yeah okay koko ni ade say nya ade abaso foforo na e wo hode dada nti before the plastics ne buy na say na yekoto koko a ye tono
kanenu a plastic mbaye no na koko ye togu kura emu wo be koma me na oton koko no owo kura bebre butu ho na wayibi ni ahohurum yes personal hygiene myself obi num obi ahohurum yie but then I ask wo call enkrofo man so Europe ane ade a ya poto yu ayi a ye didimu yi ebo ya poto yu ane ye de gye wo ho broni pebie didim enya boketwa enti die enti na ye te say ye kora no ye ntimi an refine it to a point to say ye be kata so yie aye kama ye de akwa ba kwase broni ye kopo a wo kata so a wo kota so yi or ceramic ones wo ho aye kata so like ye pekin niema m block ye pekia ya fane sa ye nhwensun sanso bone no na ma awie sa mo akone edu eti e was say ye fa ho adwen holistically.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And before Zoom Lion for baby na AMA for no anytime be there privatize ye BBB na akudie ye boni. So na sanyo man na see hwe. Na it mean state owned your man na ne bo from na control it me say e can na ke o tanka before they were responsible for keeping us clean near the other. Now it is no more, so we just do what we want. And it has been demonstrated in human history. Say, nipa ujaya pemaya yede. Nipa di ujaya nipa man obedi ope. So no, as well, you put two measures in place on mine on moving forward. Waiting here the SNF.
Mr. Brown, me da se pa. Mr. Osema, how?
Yeah, this is the design.
Radia drum now sway.
I am young, Miss Memory.
It is radiasi.
I don't know, my gente say. Information service, I might be no more.
Almost bought the roy and Potamoon, be so our office. Yadia be back room or area zone, no market catch.
And I can't say, I am quite a won't class here. Be say, only a whole few documentary, no more dear well classy. On Baba Bay, a Dingadia swing, a baby, and the government mean any few went to. Nobody in a moon classes.
Miss say, cried in here, almost here, no, assembly at it. So, phone ye, so cray, Uber fan ye, and I say, our smart world, your a smartphone, so. A two phone ye, over far phone, no. The Echagu Yasibia, Yehupa. Ya my information for Koma Juma Yembre. By a son day, I just say ya buffo, enti ye best say atna, yeno. Ye penny easy, soft life, easy. Enti information service for and my employer. Smartphone no, or dia try was so, ye de. Your attitude not change. Ye ni pa ye wo maimu. Ya so ye ding. Ebia it is a sabinyan nemponko. It is said that Mr. Brown can say ya guni memono. Ya can be can say democracy nke wo mu ananka soja na eba no to ball ani guni enhwe. Nanki ya kan obi achi kakra. Ya be can say see so charge for be can say human right too.
No, na woman na ye kuye hu. E do mo timi mfa punishment mi ba because oni pa ni ye no wanya punishment bi ani obi be ye. So the autonomous why ye no wanya punishment. Me so meye na we na fa akoye se nyina na ye. It is a punishment the ban you who say we are a punishment. We are punishing there. Slow be beba. But you just two sons will be an dear. And your man the Dutch dear. You just who the bay. And she has said my punishment in Mra.
Okay. Mr. Said, Mr. Sansos a punishment, my punishment, Mra. And no, sure we are a bit me. A day. Abuama environment no imwate 0302257900257901 adwaro beta ne mo amoka se network ne no mehu ye ne etie na network ne nkoyie maye baako sei o ya kokra no enko enti o mo de atimi atom obi te se Mr. Brown so free radio so da ne de atimi atom etomu ma no because network nyenyenyenyenyenyenyen nti o frɛ nko data ne so e bona ni te se sebe before de no enti adwa enya baby a won pe baby a tie nyina e kan network operators NCA National Communication Authority Madaroma and it is not in this day and age ewiem kusa na network eteteko network anti ankwa na ECG light ne bona ni te sebe before edie yo kwabna
nana
bema na ma han
no.
Kwabna wo hwe enwura de agu bola ejiemu da.
Na menye bi da e.
Kwabna.
Nana.
Bemena mitiewa.
O mai wi agasa no. E to da na metra ho di mi se ase bi o yen ku school da ye. Si school na nyansa wo. E wona ko fa nyansa. Na metra si din bi bisa me ho se din pa na e chi wo school mo.
Ye chiro ne ye free school dem what is abonte school no emfaye mu ye first school no musa na ye pie
na ina me ba fero be bola bi e gu na de ni jina mo san ju so so ke o ko council an se ngunu as tache bi se ngunu ni pan be ka cho se aye o dia na
ye say yenya correct entina me say Bible aka say enim kanipa was na ne kon no ye buni mpofri mu a anu ne aduru eye bebeleka
nana baby na metre data kakaka bi da ho ke isuam na gata ni mu asi rabese ensu put 30 minutes in here ensu be twi bibia ko enni 1 hour na asa ayema everything o ben ni
enti kwabne asembisane ne say ye toto adwene o aban so de samansaman sa babiun ye da nase yate bese number 2 say first Saturday of every month isa prapra no samba ye da aban ase edie bio na apart from some mienu ye ni pay ye betimi aye na ye de ahwe ye ho efri say wo be ye ofie kama na sabi jejentwie bi ena mesemento sabi kra na me refi amato sabi ba ko na jimifuo bi de on nasum yeso bi na wo hwe agum na age chochocho na asi wo ye responsible o de wanya responsible o ni nyina ye nya ho problem enti sabe enkwase masaka sabe enti nkwasiafo na ma ye bre eti enya omoden sa ne asembisa no
nana passages for me say juma na maye
emfa sojafo nsi town won
ye sha se fi kromu a nana obedu fie ni kromu nyefe wo me say usi kromu a enyefe baako sei
kwabra me da se oh na homa na ti kompo yo Romulus
nana
udin de minhia bi da menam ma me ye radio be fie yimanim ho ni na nkwale susa na enwo sika minhia udin yi da udin ya me de
is the one who founded Rome.
No.
You.
Romulus.
You.
And
therefore, bina.
One more found it.
Yes.
It's who you Ghana ni anase we European ni.
We are Ghana.
We are Ghana ni. Enti o Ghana din so na de he.
Me Ghana din okay.
Okay. You. It we say na ye aborofudin. Na edin papa no ye de mo ni okay no.
Yeah, very Romulus okay.
Romulus okay. You. Be me na pacho metie wa wie.
Yeah, say first problem na ye wo environment no mo no. First you say ye say attitudinal change no say ye first. Na eno no say NCC wo adwuma ni so say wo body rule. Wo educating crop, wo go around wo educating crop. So crop start say wo change wo attitude towards a distance now. One, I mean, we want to be judged. So, we do run to normal. Two, also try say you be use paper as to replace this rubber no. So you use paper now, you replace it no. And it should be by force, by law. Into your being use rubber, leave your paper, and you use and so be so we baby to say Rwanda. One more dustbins, and this Ghana had dustbins, who is see Kwan in Kofu baby area. No, one more, ya educate to mama, Bia, who say, me cry we here, me the better ball no more Kwano into a woman in any. Now, so the baby got 2 fame. Ujanko de babetu magare madam fu yina fatu bola ade na esu odun betana obi de ade 2 fem na wo ga tene pe obaka say una opra zoom lion fu be ba be pra nti ya attitude no na mama we mu nyina ba nti ye change pe ni nyina be change this first month so bia ye voluntary you see ngofu bebre enye
me Ray, now what attitudinal change say NCC former dawuri on. Hwe na se me ka say omo ye educators e wo Ghana. Wo madwuma no ka ye mre pa, ne mre a ye ne say. Social media abeka traditional media ho. Enti se wo hwe radio, wo tie hwe TV, wo tie radio, wo fa wo phone information ne ebuso. Ubenya nipa sebe enyansafo bebre omo ye adwuma ne bi voluntarily mpo edeboa state institutions say NCCE omo te asem no wate wonfa eti wonyini say it's about time say ye ma ye ne ye den na ye pe authority a ebeye discipline and ebe hye amaya ye discipline e wo sa kwan we say eso as replacement say MCC for nkwa beba be kasa saa waten so onfa o kan wie kura wo internet no so be hwe na akoda bi ono wo mo brother wenya 3 cities ato data no be du atem no okọ no ato ho no okọ enti saa attitude na change no ye fridi ano ka say ye change o emfa e bro kakra bamua sanka nye badu ana adwe ho say
yeah enu no we say enti da me say o say we di education idi kan ma wo mo enti ye educate wo mo ana say api ye hu say it is still going on ngofo ti say o ko school a wa che na dia ohun o say we di afi ma soldier for babe ti say rolling star udi yehu ya cho say udi ball e guzuma ne ya cho ne ya do to pete mu ngofo abehwe ne ya bo wechi say yehu sa na ngofo hu a I mean people will desist from those things
medase bemena
medase
ye kan we so big Nigeria say ka say in this democratic dispensation and na fundamental human rights breaches we da mo anka brofo ye free ka brofo sen ka brofo beboa ye pa wo ye mayi mu ye hihye mra to ho wo krata so sen ka mra beboa ye pa wo ye mayi mu a engie ne nie ke wie sam wakone adu ye wie sam wakone adu na mo so ya na mu twa nkrofo na mu di nsamfo ne video no eya mo tag location nka ho ba bia o twa ne location ye tag nka ho e ka post ne ho a e boa me etimi hu wo mo ntam ne ache wo mo na no akwa bia utumi so na sumye so na me se me ntosa bi jimifo bi me ka video na sama na afra ka tem se video ne de mo be ka sa bre se ba ya mo be hu yen ye be tragu de se ba ya mo be hu yen butwa video no kra ye nimu mayie onipa wei oba na awo no wei wo se me ka chen se wa jimi amento se bi because me ti radio sunti na bible can say enim kanipa wo sene ne kon ye buni mpofiri mu a anu ne aduru no mo ante human right bolemne ye yo melody bra Eno Mary awoda Eno Mary wa ablekuma agape hona Eno Mary ewo ene 78 years. Eno Mary about birthday 75 birthday say see 3 years ni ye say ye nyina mpa eno mountain kwa mo awoda pawate Mr. Kwatenti ahodi wom ene de ema wo awie Mrs. Fariza wiafe asante mama T baby a ona ma wie bia ya mo ha o ho te sen me gidi se rade adom wo ho ye me gidi se wo ho ye eyi na no video na wo bo amema me ye ne saraba ya ba post na se o aba inbox aba be ka chem se me ye nipa bonni enti mama T me no nyina na o ka de o ka gensi ye se wona o ka ho na me ye ye enti ye nyina ye nye ye wai awie ma ha Professor Kwame Edu Bonsafo Prof ma ha wie yo na ho te sei prof ye bio ye bi kurayim prof na prof pa de anyway obi akwesua na de akoye ne professor de one hwan so betra radio so aka chen se wo ye bi prof de wo ye ni nyina ye mi hu fi na mi fi wo wai na men ka ho ye nkomo ne ye nwie ye da so di na nyame adom menya awura no mienu ewa ha ombeke ho am yedi nkomo yi roba efi ba ko de apart from ne field like ne profession our practices say communications de ofri no oje organic ensem tumpa enti wonu sei ewie kwen se me gina na pampa mu ani me bom kwen tie me nkomo ni bi ma me wate ebeboa yen ne ehunu kwan ye befa so ebeboa ye ho apart from say ye ka emra ene de wo se ye no obaako mienu bi ti no nya adwen sakra me gidi se beboa pani bi me nhia ne da but kind na makan no Dr. Ebenezer Lai sustainable development manka de ni we say in a job first voice adiana manka ni sustainable development manka de ni we say in a job first voice adiana manka ni ye kura there be nana don so can be we a project director reader in sustainable some are saying Mama T and de onua no abo reader in sustainable development law Aston University UK was also fresh pack e no ye project director no fresh pack e no ye project director ne doctor we yentem skies Ghana Accra blue skies Accra Accra na say Eastern region Accra Eastern there be Eastern region blue skies Eastern region me no mema mo ha o ya nana dot my mental voice am here so be ma me macho voice and I say Oh, okay. Doc, me mo ha jim so me hade.
Yeah, nana.
At least one man barry voice no. Like how?
The voice in the sanity.
The voice in the sanity. To man barry there no. Na adwuma mu to say.
Nyame adum nana.
Doc, we dey meet me share musa o adwuma mu to say p. I say dey me interest wa ha.
Vacho to me bisa.
Me bisa. Vacho adwuma mu to say.
Nyame adom boko
wo ho
yeah
de rade ase ansa na meba de ntia enne me ne mo ha sei so no aliste so hwe se nsuo to na se eyire yen se ya how do you feel
ana say eya sefem eye areho pempi no eya na yen se obi ene bi a waye ye bibi nanso eya yankasa ya brabo ene enioma ya hwe ni han na ye be nyina na ye tie program no very interesting telephone calls ana unya na enembre 21st century utumi eye bola ofie etete sensuo nto na fakogu bola mu na ade ba kokra me hu na sense na ebi no utumi ye bola edigu rubber mu na mo nenam traffic light enti ukuta pick up car ekire ne ya opina
What atum?
Not the atum. Who say traffic no so green pen? Not the atum. It will go do baby. I will go now. Bucket no my ebola. Subai se enfata. Na se beko ye nimu a esese asuban die. Ye krakra na chiri krakra.
Aliste. Efidie we echi. Betna efidie we echi. Wohaw Ne Sen especially me baba ye permanent host. I was our program 9 years. January. Ma hosting ma city in my mafia several times, countless occasions. At a point, me sitting in 2 years at the man. Yatna fidie we say chi aka attitudinal change. For na me a girl. Now me a mommy penny. Change is not coming. Enya brofo ka say ya yakotama twa hu su no ka say if persuasion fails force must be applied.
No cre. Entina make say na ni han. Enso obi anim say ofamra no tu ni nsem no ye de ope a obi anya no hwe. Nanka tede uka earlier no. Tete na ebia na aban bi wo so a nka sojafo ni nam krom. Nanka otu bibi twini a
bo kakra.
Beji instant. Oboka ko du fie no wankasa kro hu politics ko obetwam. Nanso em say ya gigi ye ho so ama sisi ano aginsem.
Ya ma crime ya kono aye lenient.
No cre.
Me na no say me propose say so be a rapist. Na ye che no a. Inse say obekwa akoda prison. Ya peduane amanedi. Ya the taxpayers money and the peduane Ghana ye prison. Wo mo nya adwuma bia mfa bibia mre yen na se ya na kakra ekọ graduate ye ka ko de ye do mo do ene ye nya aduane de feed schools and ka ye different issue we wo mo te ho mfa so bia e chede ni wo mo so ene san bom ho ka enti se be ye be serve as a deterrent no na nka ya ye change dia to nanim ni na chi anopa transfer bo bra but every morning with 1 hour of your time Epra High Street I'm a rapist abo wani abo wachi enyo bia kono say onkonko rape because o bo hu dawru akira mansan say minimum na atofo no na obi kwa akoye we a ne ferie enya apra ne na efere o etare wo hu ye hu se woni ebebu abam ne pane tu wura ne gu na ya ma no 1 month when I walk pra from this traffic light to this traffic light one pra ya mama so twi bia eso sene saa by the democracy and na human right and na freedom of one and na nana be kwa akopache okra nana be fra akopache amene ba ene da so de osofo so bebem me sofo de on pache o man o ga jo so ko din samfo a wadin samfo emra no ni adai
nana ha dwen no kra ni say said you can but me won you took kwa amononia ye di mraso ye behave different but e bagana na ye say o usi kotoka o ya se aba ye die mu bi o minti de e pe bia
as what yes banana republic
won enti no I think say education de ye but ye ma mranye djuma no kra ni say emra ye ma kwan enye djuma o man mu no say be police ni chi obi a bia na obi ni pakolo ni mu no afre o na also ni police inspector when I say oh me nua no at least me nua anti na ya na ka wa hwe woman I think say a relationship no but they be me can say eno na ma yenko yenim no ebusuan no kro ni na say ebusuan ba ko
asab abrofo no so ebusuan ba
ko ebusuan ba mra ye adwuma
ti ya kan say be ma mra ye adwuma be ma na ye
mra adwuma na
IGP okoye meba Dr. Layeso IGP okoye dampare na posifo ni bi from dampare boys say wo mo chewa no mercy enti o hono mo ana se obi frɛ ya chi obi na sister ya chi me o se dampare boys omo no mercy
ye hear such a no in the system seriously speaking if you say obi a no so ni mo bi so be di boni bi na ye chi no ese se eja no na mbra na ye adwuma na I mean cite typical example bi far back I think 2014 or 2013 minya kwenya eko UK kosua de kakra dem say within the Northampton area and somewhere around Pittsford, police ni a younger officer. Echi womu police boss se wako party se bi wako no monsa. Womu ye checks o kwan so. Ena ne boss no du ho no gina no. Ena so uma ye gu kwan so ye check se de mra ne se no. Enti no hu from agu adem ohu ye no na boss na nka kase wotwetwa bi.
We dey drone or dey driving.
Oh che no. But Ghana ha
who born dog ye be transfer wo. Ana ye be yi wedi.
Enti baby amra ye enti mra na se ye man ye adwuma. Emra ye adwuma me sure say sem bebre aye kan enhye da anya asem sa.
Dr. Lai te say we say we are Ghana ni so minim say to UK. Minim say free ha na call ye say what ho kra permanent kra na waba. Enyema ye different. Ewo ho menka say ho irresponsible human beings in ho omo ho because there are some areas where developed countries are obekono mfichire baabu bo nse bola esum ho ene saa enema bi enye pleasant but majority of the high streets and residential areas near dia bekono wonhu saa efino few edededemu eye mindset ene bo mo na embra na behwe wo munti ena wo mo eye steady.
Pacho me da say me da telephone so say da nyame ase say wa ma yen kwa. I think say Pacho a number of things. Usually ye ka san same way we Ghana Obrofobeka say we take a narrow approach. Into mindset in Pacho important, but we share the history of developed countries. Country like UK. Ubo say there was a time when history na almost sanitation problem no nursing India and couple times 1,000. New York, for example, in the 1920s in America, no more big sanitation problem. Uninam streets ukra na a crane niama kusie ne niama de wo nante because na omutu bola tu bibia but omu shishe emrabi ena omo shishe enforcement brofobeka say enforcement mechanisms be ena omo joining mienu no to work. But in addition to that no so wo shishe emra now wo shishe enforcement mechanisms are also we making sure say you have built enough capacity for compliance. And you know, for example ebia yebe to me akobema kampaka che soldier for ni say monko into the streets of Accra mo enforce say obi antu ball antu bibia. But the question is say soldier for no enforces ade no ball ahin collection points ahin yewo bins ahin yewo and crofube to me akọ to actually go and dispose and dump in the proper way. Wow. That is also a part of the problem. Say our capacity now to absorb and to process waste is very low. From a systems point of view, no, there is always going to be a problem. Even if, say, you do your best to maximize enforcement, no, eventually, Ubon said there will be a number of people because there are no alternatives. Ubon say there is no way for them to properly dispose of ball now mu generating on beto gata mu and I say on beto pick up mu even Accra how many points of disposal ball I was street no so now be hu one pure water one nam upesa odo to ball mu unye bi. Yeah, it's a part of the problem.
A part of problem, but yenim say bebia wakoma wono bebia we japade wono ho no wakoma wo. Things that are important or dear to you, we take it serious. Me nsia hwe kra no. Minim say waste ya managing ye effects no expensive. Say be managing ye because malaria enkwa opa yen check see say what is the quantum of money that the state invested in malaria treatment and then we say no pay me so my announcement to say ye be check mosquito net Mate. Say a mosquito net. Aha, you mosquito net at my it's not starting tea. And na ye de ashim, na tontom na we mosquito net ye this kind of toy. Volunteers have go out akwa no. Ye be mo honorarium if not allowance ye be mo bibi. Amoma kwakoche. Ho sensem one issue. Ye de sika ewura treatment emu simply because many some people within the medicine sector no many some but simply because ye practice preventive health but ye practice curative ya really ba na yako
yeah
enti your attention se preventive kakra bebem si echa mosquito neta no ne preventive na ewum no aden na ye ma ye nimre se oman na bebia bola ana health implications are a year waste a free bano yen so no preko me se me nsu ahwe wo ye doctor nyama fene mo ayi enano pe kra na mo assignment me sorry 3 ahomache 3 assignment me ensa questions me ensa aye 2 me deadline anadwi 11:55 Beko akowie me numu metembe me dwena me ho but me wo street yi mu keke makenkan from other places are waste a capital bola a sika enkrofo to bola is it Norway omo to bola e de generate power ye to bola de ye niema bebre Moko siande no wo UK ho no mu wi ana maka ho we me de ba so personal.
If I think say the fact say I am here no and no kwa is brofo because it is proof that ye kusia ya de a ye pese ye de ba na ye de be bo Ghana na enkomodie na ye bedi no I'm sure say etie for omo by the time we mbe hu say nyama na ye no it will help not just Ghana as it is now but ebeboa future generations as well.
Then I do I. Me tebi and person who do the work question or day bani binedi.
In part of projects na ye no in collaboration with Blue Skies no ya research your friend policy blueprint na sa policy blueprint no and shisheya we are recommending to the government of Ghana na say government of Ghana implement this our blueprint na ebe help it to establish a plastics alternatives industry ewo Ghana
focus near plastic
mpachoi
okay what dey hear me do the meeting
mpachoi into focus near plastics and the blueprint no ebeboa for the establishment of a plastics alternatives industry in Ghana. Now, and not just say we will have the right policy mixer. Ebema a lot of businesses and companies aba system nimo to produce alternative products to plastics, such that you bet transition as a country away from plastic products to plastic alternatives. Ebema yen plastic pollution na bafem, and at the moment, you know, through projects na which is fresh packed, we have bounded together. Yene company back we are from Coco 360 Ghana Limited, Omo Ghana Hana, in partnership, no. You develop a material be your friend coconut coir mulch, and no replace plastic agricultural mulch. And it is an example of a material yen farmers no be to me use to replace the plastics no and that is an important one ebeboa that is just an example
to so ka kube abna ya okay at least once me can say about organic many sound me ba bigina ho se menye mfonso a before covid that's 2019 I think 2019 many kobo research document bi eso.
Okay.
Na researchers no ene baby a menya document ni free no. Omo e based in Europe, Spain to be specific.
Okay.
Na omo a study ehun say kube de ya num ya say omo se ba ko 6 cedis ne 7 cedis no. Na bena no ne hono no ye betimi de ayamane as you are saying enti omo kire processes no emu it is to say kube wura no ebeba be ye otosom e de amaye no ye be manage in such a way say emra meye manure for farming and in fact organic manure apart from eno me papa bi ofa wie ma ha mira banfo alisa okay Lord mosquito coil.
Yes.
Ekum tuntum kojo to. Or your research be or your very or also say another great researcher.
Okay.
Or your research be there were times anan tuntum asem ye bole ya ye tuntum awie. Na ye kra coil. Eba no be can say sawdust. Ene ye tree si bi emu niema betimi ama yenya coil effect synthetic effect no very low shelved academ unused ya waha ene ye hu say metals engrofo fabu aside the year bribe foforo entinya say ye generate ebi almost every day. You who crofo for you pages so elsewhere. But yet na who say worldwide plastic. You bet me generate about 26.1 tons by 2050. 2050 no 25 years away. Not far away. Na ye hwese ye nyan generate 26 numpo ani aye mobo te say enti aliste ye be ye den
me da se nana say osha the current discussion is mostly about galamsey as a major challenge, a pose existential threat to yen as a people. Kofu befa omani enko so na se de wo kan no plastics e betimi egu oman ayen kan nipa ba kokra wo and no projections na research na ya Dr. Lai Ekana. You can imagine by 2050 the quantum of plastics are you ever generate e wo man, and some of the outcome of the research quite scary. But I'm saying because you fire adwin call who no be aka o galamsey because nyoma about nyoma ebedi research say we sachet plastic bags na enum na ato atwene no ebinum to we take about 500 years to decompose. The quantity of sachet bags ayanka say enum wo ye fie offices na necessary rubber na if we don't get any alternative use for it na ye dikogu baby akeka, you can imagine the impact on the soil. No, said the Dr. Laika, plastics necessary evil. And you might be brace or why you be here plastics. But what we are saying is you better find alternatives for those that we can do without. Banomitisana na oka. Titino I won't collaborate with your small jomo. Ebia ebema kenten and I ebema plastic basket. And nuna debia amuduko tobanchi. And obito sachet water cry. Oji another plastic bag no dia shame no dia coffee obi ko to mosquito coil na waji rubber no dia shame obi ko to wache ni gwa haban mu obeji rubber obi to be to brodo ejina car se driver jina ti se na dia car o baby no now see o me to brodo no manji polythene na ti se send polythene bre no ojiji we nyina akwa akogu fie wo she de nim ade papa bi o de beye it like you said attitudinal change is very key. Media can say we need a brain reset there's a lot of research ongoing. I think we need some kind of psychological research as a people against some of these things. Said the bear, I bet we are finding alternative to plastic, like Lotalaya can. We share abrobe production process now. They use a lot of plastics. And what this research is looking at is a better alternative I be use am I the same results any plastics. Because at the end of the day, no, we try abrobena so we try and buy anywhere. No way the plastics they go farm. These plastics are breaking down gradually and they are entering into the soil. But we link because but plastics but and also bet me
Mekaisa plastic in Como started years back Ghana ha Samekaya Sabred papa mama yarga na oye okuta ministerial position bi menkai position ne papa ye wo associations ahodo omo into plastic ewo ha ye say the levy say tariff beto plastic so ye di ho nkoma. Me as a person, I have my own reservations about mode of education, mode of communication, mode of implementation. Asemsia, either 2 weeks, na ewu, ana say there were continuous effects. 6 weeks, na ewu, yen reversity asamna. Ebio just say BBS boom ansa ena yako. I have me was a problem ne da ho. O de ye ma ho ne. Omo ka ho asem no esiye. One of the days I was privileged to go to a Zoom Lion for hey honyo kuntunzi akoshi ahono kwa de say ajin kotoku o me de. How recycling nke betimia shepi yen and time will come out oya baller you feel proud say why baller because nka wo koton e dia mobi enye de oba be fa na nke bejew sika but ajeta enti Dr. Lai na mijna so ebisa say ye per alternative user organic niamaniaman alternative use grade blue skies abrobi omu twitwa ekire ho na we fa ekire ho tools asase na fresh ebrebia wo ho eti easy to know and to implement plastic alternative use ebine de.
Yeah, and Pacho me da say inti for example your friend single use plastic bags into their friend of polythene no into ukoto as Alistair can ukoto wache no waje polythene mu instead of that we could have paper bags into there are paper bags which are produced specifically for carrier use abrofobeka into in other countries amonone or more companies are more produces our bags. In addition to that no biodegradable bags. Into biodegradable bags no abrofobeka say they are made from bio-based components to say starch. Into wagana haidua cassava bibre you bet to me I have an alternatives industry companies be woha omu take a lot of that cassava no omu yi starch ni free mu no omu da carrier bag it is a polythene bag it looks like the polythene bag pepe but the only difference they say it breaks down into the soil after 2 or 3 years then wa pro na cause problem bia
pacho Alankash kofa ayensu starch factory ba ye no na yeyi starch e free banchi emu de okan cassava no wana say what na you ka chenti bofo sema boni so yen ye won fichira cassava banchi eti banchi no na yesi yeyi starch na ye de boa fabric eye obi a we treat fabric kakrabianim the uses of enema bi to say banchi and our starch ene enchine ewo the treatment of fabric emu ba wo ka kire me ne say banchi is a say ye beto ewiase esum sao bag ana nche tunu wiase esum ewiase esum ya polythene bag tuntum no yeah ewiase esum is a say beto ewiase esum enka ye benya alternative bag a biodegradable a ye de banchi
yeah
na aye
yeah and I betumi aye no wo Ghana ha ebema Ghana for ha enye juma while still solving the plastics problem no that we have. In addition to that, and so say abino or more implemented policy recommendations now ya set to blueprint ni mono. You bet to me export the plastic alternative products now ya no Ghana hanum to other African countries to the Africa free trade area. And also ebema again ejuma bebre report na ya no it is the first report of its kind for any country in the West African sub-region. And this is a new frontier. Bruni Bekas is a new frontier in the area of climate change, sustainability, methodologies and methods and policies. And Yefili it is a huge opportunity for Ghana. President Mahama Wabasuno. One of the key things are the government wants to do about ejuma. Sa new industry way will ensure say ejuma bebre beba amagana for, and in the research now we have some projections about the numbers. Minim say kwan wo ho a meya nchechemu atie ama etie fo ana
ya na mehwe
yeah inti me pacho meka Coco 360 omo ho asem company no omo Ghana ha ya partner with omo ye coconut coir mulch to replace the plastic mulch. In their operation they employ a total of 48 people. Was our company young research and young calculations calculate say for every Brony Becker said the 48 people that is direct jobs, but young calculations you who say for every one direct job that was created, 32 indirect jobs were created the supply chain. Well, into almost suppliers near in conform almost to nyama free or more
bedroom end user
and so bedroom end user into 32 jobs in the supply chain and other related areas. Into kanini both direct jobs and indirect jobs over 1,500 for one company.
Per the research one company as a partner
yes, they created that over 1,500 jobs. That is one company. And in our research, we say, okay, and say if you can get that from one company, right? If let's say maybe you have long-term plan, you share the next 25 years to 2050, how many jobs would we create if we had a say in alternatives industry where there are 50 companies like Coco 360? And according to your calculations, you have 76,800 jobs created. And if you have 100 companies over the next 25 years, you be creating estimatedly 153,600 jobs. Now, say nyame boyen na ye de pa so na ye 200 companies in Ghana within that industry within the next 25 years, Ombe created 307,200 jobs.
Dr. Lai, there is one thing about research and another thing about implementation. Sometimes, to say my nice research what me anya partner institution back one direct jobs 48, indirect 1,000 plus. Most people sabi adwene ne wo fie but what dey ni fie ya wasam na make anti jinanchen na enyansafo kasa no mo enyansafo mo mra me ntiasem ene nkwa wo ye wo enipa bi wo hɔ a hu problems na o mind wo mu no to say waste ewie ama matwe mo se momre owo ideas research support any nuanom but na aka fameko a major problem at the many people youth no udu universities ya enkrofo bebre wo show mo project work omo ye research omo aye ne findings ana de free mo aba na ebusa se ekwa he ekoda shelf so na pro simply because the push bema adekodia na ye visible na benefit no aye practical ye ni etwa ye wie obo company dim refi at least blue skies were my main say blue skies enie ye be ye day na eni pet me do ho agim
Patrol, a number of things. The kind is say leadership. You hear leadership that thinks about the next generation, not the next election.
Ebeneza la di asembebo ye la di asembebo yo ena dia hin biom
hey if I show make an bima my ETF for ate
ubenya asem na kwata pon ba evident to de ka
ye here in this country say ebeko ye nima and the Americano that is the history of ekrobia ekonenim ekonenim no this is what they are able to do. Leadership that thinks about the next generation, not the next election. It is a woshe researcher research na with a 25-year outlook. Nature say dear ebe serve Ghana for the next 25 years. In Kolabi Wohaw yebe wo mu Ghana in the next 25 years say they are not a part of us but omobaba system nim. And this is a problem omobaba beto. Into the view that we took ne say it was ye put something together that will serve not just the present generation but the next generation of Ghanaians. And only the first thing. Now, I think also say the second thing they say usually say when business for kasa, they are more can say their Emma investment Ghana no is the absence of policy. Just say the right policies in Nihua ebema investors both internally and externally about setting up the necessary businesses ninyama. Now, I am said the more investment we have no, the more ebeboa ama famekono abrafem, because there will be more options. Emma the youth umbenye juma aye Coco 360 make ka omo ho asemi omo operation omo yet famebra etc. They be omo employ the local people will be omo wano on the basis of merit. Inti the more job opportunities are able to be created for young people no ebema saade no abafom inti no if we have the right policies in place abayan kasa thinking about the next generation now omobe implementing no I think say we will begin to see a lot more progress.
At least I am fan say yenya leadership or Jane yen future that no na or share kwan say environment no yebebo ho ban. It's good, but abrantie any ababa we bia ote ho obeka cho say minye adwuma na nka meye mini fa beko me wo idea na menya to say Dr. Lai mo researching yɛni ɛho akade eti then young person bi a wotie me ananso bi a otise odi ahenkan. I'm using odi ahenkan as an example because me driving the social aspect domestically, even though environment and general well-being me and the kahono odi driving from entrepreneurship point of view. Eti ebia odi ahenkan etie me ebia kwabna obenda akun tie me ebia papa ekwo otie me. There are other seasoned crofo omo pushing crofo into entrepreneurship na opese oye bribi no make not only economic gains but protect environment and also eka ho. Where does the person start from?
Me da se bebre na em say utie de Dr. Lai eka a while ago na o kire say we need the right policies. I'm sure say put the right policies in place. Ebe bring in the necessary investment now. Ebe buan nkrofo this initiative, more these ideas no. No crane say a pempi no, like Dr. Lai said, you dream about the next generation. Look at the kind of things we do in this country. There are a lot of young people with some brilliant ideas. Now so na kono say baby before na yenyemu bibine atafre. But if we are thinking about the next generation, we'll be looking for. See, I serve on a foundation committee that is being championed by the president of Rwanda, and some of the initiatives are take you Rwanda. Like Dr. Lai said, they are not thinking of today; they are looking at the next 40 years. Trust me, the president of Rwanda so too quiet or building an entrepreneurial base of young people, because in the strategy he say by 2015 say you can 40% of millionaires in Rwanda as I say young people below the age of 40. So with this in mind, we're setting up a group and we identify from the various universities and various institutions support you. You'll be surprised that sometimes too quiet cry. Sa young entrepreneurs you know too quiet. Then penny for too quiet money why no neko. It is important say you dream the next generation. But na me de bia na assemble ko bi pen ya me kasa me kan na me de twato. Say Professor Pierre Lumumba no kan assembly. Or say all these ideas na you dream ho no. They must be done, they can be done, they have to be done. But if they are not done, we are not done. We are done because as I say ye sorry na ye enyoma edwin dachi. Say ye ka kwan wo man mu. We should be thinking about tomorrow. Say ye set your business, we should be thinking about the next generation. But ye ne keke say ba betre wi asimu ne akwa. It is this problems will continue to exist. Funding bebre wo ho from multinationals from other countries are mayen. How much of these funds do we channel into more expertise when it comes to writing project proposal? Betron fefe ne akwa jisika no na echucha photos be it is important say yes some of these funds we should make it available to people who need these funds to do generational transformational activities able to be aboa or mine
baby this young unim say a plane nyamemfa era jakon ekrensi boche jakon say the whole plane say majority of go-getters obeye adwuma no amwo say waye adwuma no clean o ka kire no sa technicalities proposal writing project we ono ne de no eye bia efie nyansa agoro ne fem obedu the do but this all kind grants ne funding ohi obekono even project manager kunakra grant we no or expected some brofo some skill be me who say Dr. Laya ama nensaso ansana odiama ye de we do ama nensaso be koyi closing remarks me who say me advertisers on be bo me ne na me nkomra erade hu ye mobo na omayemfa book long sem ento nchen baabi a enhia
lokre
na yamwa nipa na nipa mwa mine na o mine no so emwa daachi case close. I'm nyom ne bebo Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Amen echiao oyare kafra obeyare dia yenya yare na bayare ne dem baba ye beyare chese yetifim entiare bi ekowu e be krayen infections e be krayen e be wiase na obi ne kidney ne liver e ho abasam oba opa wo infections inti na fertility e yensam e be wiase akra no na lifestyle so de aba beka ho uso so betie se abontin fi ni su e be fanti won exercise strade ara nkotwom hypertension diabetes growth America snow to omo exercise omo dem suano ye emfa dem kan mo ho safo hene nyare diabetes ene nyare we tete se be before ye de ko amena o mfidie onuro adwoda kokosi memenda anopa no nsu kosi anwumre nonum da bi omo ye adwuma kosi ada kra no pedu ba kokosi awia no miensa enkran de ne mienu ba ko odome net flat ana ba ko so klagon lahye bi ahya mankwan mo beyanda bridge no 020 722 9505 020-722-9505 and 0244227192 0244227192 afi 0245275254 0245275254 Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital say Allahu Shafi unyame one yaresafo me happy delightful juice enuaba emunsuo a ede emi enko fa a flavor enjo say aduaba happy delight ewo ho ye loading with taste ye nuaba ene edi aye aduaba ben na wo pe ye won enketo anso a betimi di ahya nkwada ne lunch pack mo snack ene your family pack na ye 1 liter our convenience stores na ben wo no mu mimi area mo ho say remas will be vero will be kola will be shops a warm hona mebo so kire no it is only mizone no na me can say now so pe bia no akọ benya biato happy delightful juice loaded with taste APC African farmer or yaw pains e bari widie no mu a ye de kwenche no ye de dum janom na mo mebi won ma obenom na ho ato sima kakra na sa don hwere kakra bi achi ba kakra na de kye na the same tipa ye ne yare kro yaw no na asa ba e ba sa wo de otiri yo unipadua ne do nti wo ka che wo yare nti kọ ema doctor nsho kena farmer de nko ton na dru wo so de be yetwemu da nka onfa ho na mom o kira wo say wo abuse adro na benya ohaw e wo nipadua ne so ohaw ne ya hodo bebre nkofo ama abuse painkillers ene ye kidney ne ene ye liver ne misrawo kena farmer se wo ton APC na so so onom na nanu achi oya ne bakọ a nipadua ne ebo kokose kọ ema doctor nsho kena farmer Medicine Unlimited. Ma menton kranemra, betama suminimpa, ba menton kraba, arafat bomami. Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital Bena Black History and War America, China, Africa ne Ghana mpenifo abona baso say. O say yare mo manfo ti apopa.
Amen Scientific Hospital. Ayare sabia, o won fidie nwaso. Dia woda so a, fidie ne kire o yade, na no asan so sa o yade.
Amen, expert o kwankro yare ho. Won ra no enam. Na wa doctor for ne nurse for so. O wotima.
Amen Scientific at the herbal, homeopathy, naturopathy, and reflexology nyina. Esa yade.
Sa wona wo pe. Ana yare ne ti same pa. Nyame adumunti. Yare expert. Amen Scientific ebeboa ma inshallah wo ho ato. Na won so di adanse se de Ghana for ne abrochirefo bi di adanse no.
Accra, Amen Scientific ewo dome, Obersnet Flats, and Alashibi nso our Klagon, Eben Shaman Road, Underbridge Ope.
O krabata P. Fre, non sure de ben wo 0245 275254. Ana 020-722-9505. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital.
Allahu Shafi, nyamene yaresafo.
Happy delightful Jew. Swashilala, chichi soso. Afrana pa. Epe pashu breakfast and was in woman. Don't happy delightful juice against with toast, cereal, and even them cool. And we ate. You mean a bread and fifi. Most of free man. Happy delightful juice. One of what? And you be happy to relax away. Swano when you're. Let's say what a tremor. Happy July free juice. Offer no pay we are bringing you all day long. One free juice. No Happy July. One different flavors, different size. You number 1 liter. Number from NG 150 and 250 ml.
Ebenye bu healthy life shops on your supermarket.
Happy July free juice. Loaded with taste.
Said the obetimi a check na farmer APC nsonti and why ye ne sa akoma
uti paiwa
fakina farmer akuma APC
kaka hawa
akuma APC
sisiare wa posunu no mpemu na ya oya fever ana wonam ya
emu bia kina farmer akuma APC ebenye firi ho nemum nanu achi na enkoi dia kuhu doctor kina farmer akuma APC eyema obia ya wadi emfie dunsia 16 years dekro.
Medas. It was a poem. What the Dr. Lying? The na person can fire or final comment why a time as soon in a minute near poem.
Pacho Medase. Now me pese just to point out say mostly a Jumana especially with Coco 360 engineers be Wohaw Ne Sen Juma omuye local fabricators omu school omuye as you said omudi ifie juma na ifie adwin na ye juma no ifie nyansa intino some opportunities no wo for youth omu Ghana into your bomb pie say nyame beboa na yenya more opportunities but say in closing no report launch launch report no the ama buying ochina Nana Yaa Doma ewo Fiesta Royale anopa 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Lunch na yenin here obi say bia wadwene opese we take part in it no it say young ones na say enkrofo mo wadwen pese wo mo ye bribi efa ho no ochina mo benya time tie wo mo na mo interact with wo mo na fe mo abo ma church on baby benya grant dey free bibi ase abo adwuma na
patron na say through the project na ye no yes anyama no already into the send America no ye engineers bebre ye juma local fabricators omu ye machines mayen na ye the coconut coir mulch na omu anko school ebi mu omu ko secondary school ebi mu JHS but omu nya skills no into at least omu ye juma omu nya opportunity no ye ti omu ka etc into some opportunities no all
Alistair do you beja ye kwan
na we dey medasi bebre na ebidati for nyinase the mechanic said you come from the beginning no I think say the SSA ye no see baby I was say to no one fan to efito intino ebe hia say ye nyina ye be adwenkro na the issue of plastics no ye hwe na address na attitude na change no say odi ogusu abodewro na amanfo nyanti ase say nsuo ya eba betoi enye no na eba be fire bola e de akọ na yenja nsuo na edigu bola mu na yenye de ese na nyankopo be ya adom omanga na nyame ehirae medase
medase yenkomo we ka se bedi a just a fakila time ni nyina ebra miguso a meye shelter e wo Wohaw Ne Sen so no maka tro say me boapa e na ma breaki me ntwa so mesamba but because of some pressing issues say transport and so security and for car eba security deliveries security and omo ye emu adwuma no so there is another challenger masporty at least before the Easter break me crazy and say nkame we na ka say the budget so next week ye be fa eno so ho adwen me da was say so tie me me realize me sack so on wa han wie yi okay me sack me ba me sack
me peka no
aha wo so mo aha
me patcho me danase
yo na wo tie wo nso
me dase
yo me dase so tie yi wa wo tie bia me dase wo emu aba bia be fa no we nyame adom me fra mo ma a meka de omo wo ni bia ka omo to mba bi nke bia ko mu ni pressure at least the number pa dem ka se me de tudwa ama mo sesi na me ye mistake the number ni tudwa me fra no Sa omre me friend is saying fruit juice any fruit packer. Me brand me nya no. Etime fa number ni ntudwa. O frɛ me dia me de be ma wo. But Alisa ma men kanto so say mothers in the hood ba o. 11th May. Eti this year say fruit salad no. Me target nipa 500 into me pe adaka no 4 or 5 akese me pe na kese
ya ready
me da se bebre na maka che me say mothers in the hood gina koti ebeba life and colored yeah mothers day ebedi obama fruit juice last time so my ice cream kakra kan when na nesha this year dey say ye be push as ice cream no so be do so kama bi ye dey twe no e be nden ya kala bobonua e na eba aba beto so me ba cho dey na me kan say omo apa omo ho asema ka se chino be ko fiesta royal me echina me twa wo mo ho so de ohu omo ni ma wo me ye Konadu ani ma be hu wo me a to me sign me do ba ko omo ho be bia on be boa ko be fa so on be boa mo anya bribi dia ye bribi so wo ho adwempa e wo hu susu ya kala omo dia be wo just all the soso mo mo kala bonua odi anka wona wasem na make yi ka che kwabno be da akochina mo cross over there na yemfa mo ye ho ene environment Peter Square Sika Yim Isaac Opoku Akosua Sapon Michael Jerison Mrane Arafat omo bo mi chidom e wo studio ha ena me hihye adwuma yi ena me ne mo a mo freye ene mo a mutieye ena Dr. Ebenezer Lai ene minua Aliste edi ehun nkomo midin Nana Yaa Konadu odi ayenga kwa me bo akela bobonua na eba ne de me de sori so no eni kila mpatwa me nyumi ya manisi na nyumi me de kan sem bebre besraw ya manisi be da se bebre Christ ama yebehia ifiada enkosi sabre ne de mampani makramo
Zongo, tap in with the god body Fleeko. Make you don't forget the Wallahi shake by baby though. Yeah, y'all know I only fuck with that real shit.